Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, today we're gonna be doing an overview slash review of the Stuff of Legends, the Omnibus, Volume 1. It's a hardcover containing volumes 1 and 2 of the series. Now, it's a 5-volume series. Omnibus Volume 2 contains volumes 3 and 4. Now, my issue with this is that there's no Volume 5 is not in a hardcover omnibus, as far as I know. So here's the cover. Here's it's by Third World Publishings, Third World Studios. Not familiar with that. If you guys have read something from that publisher before, let me know in the comment section down below. I'd be curious because I'm not familiar with them. I don't know if they've ever done any other books. Now it does say here, collecting the New York Times best-selling graphic novel. So that's always a good sign. Here's the back cover. Now, as you can see here, there's a lot of praises by big names in the comic book industry. Gail Simone, Frank Quietly, Brian K. Vaughan, Mark Waid, and John Layman. All those people are very successful comic writers. The inner covers are just solid black, nothing fancy. Here you get credit to the writers, pencilers, colorists, and so on. Here's the first page. I really like the way this looks. It's a nice 2-page spread. Here are all the villains, all the good guys, and in the middle we got our big bad. It's the boogeyman. I'm really digging this, and it's in color. Let's check out a few of the extras at the end of the book. Here's the boogeyman again, in color. Here's some of these toys that are some of the main characters, right? Once they cross to this world where the boogeyman's at, they become real. Now, it's kind of like Toy Story, but not really, because, like, for example, he will become a real grizzly bear. He will become a live-action jester, like gun-wielding and knife-wielding and so forth. He'll become a real duck, so forth. So in Toy Story, they stay toys. Here, they do not. They change. Look at those pictures. Again, I really like the way this looks in color. I almost wish the book itself would have been in color. That would have been pretty cool. Here's some sketches. This is how the art will be on the inside. It'll be kind of like these mute colors. Now this is like a light brown hue. This character's name is Jester, as you can see right here. This is how he looks as a toy. And in the other realm, this is how he looks. He turns into like a human, right? Here's some of the other characters, how they look in the real world and how they look in this fantasy world that we'll go to. And so on and so on. It shows all the characters. Now the book starts off, as you can see here, the boogeyman is grabbing this kid. This is the shadows. He's grabbing the kid. It looks very eerie. Look at how he's dragging him right here. It's kind of crazy. And here you see the kid being dragged into the other world, to the closet. Once you get to the closet door, it's another world. I really like this picture in the middle. It looks very eerie to me, like he looks very helpless. And look, he's reaching out for the bear right here. You see the bear over here. The bear cannot do anything because as long as the kid's awake, the toys cannot move or do anything. So here you see all the toys come to life. Once the kid's dragged away, they all come to life, wanting to know what happened. They gotta go save this kid, right? So it starts off, the first few pages, it feels like Toy Story. But once you get into this other world, it becomes a lot different than Toy Story because the characters change. They're no longer toys. They're real life animals and real life people and so forth. This is a nice 2-page spread. As you can see, it is sewn binding. There's no issues with the binding. Now the paper itself is a thick stock paper. Very, very thick. Look, you can hear that noise. Like I said, it's almost like two pages or 3 pages in one. Here's the bear in the real world, how he looks. Along with other characters, the Indian girl, the pig, and so forth. It's a nice 2-page spread. I really like the art on this. And while I do like the colors, I would have preferred that. This works as well because there is a lot of eerie moments and scary moments. There's dark scenes in here. And this type of color gives it that feel, but like a little more eerie. And it also gives it an old school feel because these stories are set in the 1940s. So it gives it this old school vibe to it, which I enjoyed. Now here you see the boogeyman grabs another person. In the shadows you see he has him upside down, drops him, and here you see him yelling at him. And this is another villain, but look, he's clearly like really intimidated by the boogeyman. He comes off as very scary and clearly the big bad. But he also has moments where he's kind of like he'll manipulate characters and talk nice to them and tell them and he'll tell them how he's the good guy, right? And this kid is the bad guy. Not him. He's good and he's here to help the toys. And sometimes he makes valid points. For example, there's this pig that in the real world, he's just feeding him quarters. Once he gets full, the kid is gonna break that piggy bank, right? So he's gonna be a dead character, right? And he's letting that pig know, look, he's gonna break you as soon as you get full. He'll have no need for you. So why are you out here trying to save him? He's not as good as you think. And like I said, he makes valid points at moments. They have you thinking, well, you know what? He literally gives the pig no reason to help, and he'll do that with other characters as well. The story itself, it was real good. I enjoyed it. The first half of the book kind of dragged a little. It just kind of introduced us to the characters and so forth. The first issue introduced to the characters. It was kind of entertaining, had some action. Then the rest of that volume got a little slow for me, kind of repetitive with this long, drawn out battle scene. And then towards the second half of the book, the story picks up because now we start peeling at that onion, peeling those layers, and seeing how did we get to this point? Why did this boogeyman get this kid, and how did he make it into the real world, right? We start getting some of those questions answered in the second half of the book. So for me, that's where it really picks up and it starts getting interesting. So if you've read this before, or if you've seen it around and you want to read it, the first volume is not the greatest, but give it a chance. Wait till you finish reading volume 2. That's when it really picks up. And again, the main reason I powered through the first half of it was the artwork, because the artwork, it's the MVP for me of this book. It's the main player. It's my favorite part. But in the second half, the writing also gets a lot better. The story starts going somewhere, right? We start getting some of these questions answered, if you will. Now the dialogue. The dialogue wasn't my favorite. It was a bit simplistic, pretty straightforward, very, very bare bones. Like the dialogue just let you know what the characters needed to say to get to the next part of the story or whatever, or to let you know what's going on in the panels. They didn't have really deep conversations and so forth. There was an attempt at it, and it wasn't the greatest in my opinion. The execution was very, very meh, in my opinion. So yeah, the dialogue wasn't the best, but the art and the story itself are really good. Hopefully you guys give this a shot, and if you have read it, let me know what you think about it. Other than that, I'd like to thank you guys for taking some time out of your day to watch this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and you hit that like button, and I'll check you guys out next time.